All right, welcome to the Nathaneal Podcast. Today we have a special guest from X. Like we met a couple of months ago. Shanon, welcome, man. Thanks for hopping in.
Nathaneal, thank you for having me on, man. Like I said, I've been literally on X the last month. Decided to grow there, build my personal brand, get in contact with you, saw what you're doing. So it's a pleasure being on this podcast today.
Yeah, man, the pleasure is mine because I went on your profile and I did see I'm new to the game, like the business game, entrepreneurship game, and I saw a profile. You said you scaled to 7 figures. I mean, if if you're an entrepreneur and you see someone who's ahead of you, like you gotta connect with them, So I had to reach out.
For sure, yeah. I think to me, that's even how I met my partner, which we can get into that as well. My business partner back then, it's literally saw a podcast of her, slid into her DM, and then 6 months later we became business partners. So that's definitely the good approach there.
Yeah, man. That like podcasting I found is the best networking tool, at least in the social media game, because a lot of people, right, are busy. Like I know you have a podcast too, but a lot of people are busy. But when you invite them, on a call itself, it's like, I'm too busy for that. But when you invite them to a podcast, it's like, yo, you get content, you get to talk to someone, like you get
it's low-key
all
flex
these
as well,
benefits. So yeah, I started mine.
I think you froze.
Yo.
Yeah, there?
Yeah,
I think you froze for a bit.
Yeah, we froze. Sorry about that.
I don't know if it's me or you're like, but you literally, you kept like this,
yeah.
It's funny.
I don't know if that's
Let me change something. I'll hop on my hotspot since that's like way more stable on my side. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, man. Just want to run through that really quickly because that's kind of like my interest as well. Is like, how did you do it? How did you scale to 7 figures? Everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. I want to hear your story, man. Like, what was your story there?
Yeah, I would say, wake up one day, decided that I want to be a millionaire, and like next day, it happened. No, it wasn't. That's kind of what it is. No, it wasn't like that, man. To be quite frank and honest as well, I had like 4 agencies that failed before that. Right, I think that's the one thing that people don't advertise. So I came in the game in 2019, 19, late 2018. I think like most people back in the day, they joined an Iman Gadzi course. I think it was called like 6-figure SMA or something, his first course. So I hop on that one and also the Ty Lopez one. And then cool, I launched my Facebook ads agency targeting like local gyms back then. So that one didn't go as well. Then I pivoted to just online businesses because I didn't want to mess with local businesses anymore. So then I turned into like funnel building. So I started building funnels for people. That didn't go as well. I made some money, but like not kind of like, oh shit, like I made it. From that, I pivoted to email marketing for coaches and consultants. That did okay, but not the success that I was looking for. Then in between that, I was quite well at selling. I discovered. So I became like a setter, a closer, helping like we scaled the multiple offers. So that also gave me like more insight into the game as well. And then after that, I still wanted to have my agency. And then I relaunched my email agency. Are you there? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's my internet.
Yeah, I'm hotspot right now. I'm literally on hotspot.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay.
No worries.
Do you want
I
to
can continue.
just like off cam?
Off cam? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Where is it? Like this?
There you go. Yeah, I think this works, man.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'll just put your face in there.
Okay.
In the thumbnail. Cool.
Yeah. So where was I?
All right.
So where do you want me to start?
As I was following you, did Facebook ads, you did funnel building, you did email marketing.
Yeah, and then in between that as well, back then I had like a part-time job as well. I think that's one thing that people don't talk about a lot in this space. I wanted to pursue entrepreneurship, but I think most people let ego and I want to be my own boss, but they don't have like any money. So I literally they got a part-time job selling Apple products. at the retail store, getting $12 an hour. And after that job, I came back home and like started working. And also I became like a setter and a closer. Before it became like a hype as well. That was 2021, early 2021. Started making more money. Then I got laid off from the Apple job because I had my business and they didn't really support that. So they laid me off, which is fine. I still had money coming in. And then I still felt the need of launching my own agency, even though I was doing quite well in the closing position and built the entire sales team up. So I relaunched my email marketing agency, but now for e-commerce. In the first 2 months, September till 3 months, September till November, I scaled to 10,000 with only performance. So I was only charging performance fee, no setup, no monthly retainer, just, I can help you make more money from your email, 10%, 15%, and then scale it to 10,000. And then in this time as well is where I found my business partner that later became a business partner. Like it was just a friend. I reached out to her. We started talking. I helped her. She helped me. We kind of became strategic partners. So she was referring me business. I was referring her business. And then, the next year, we merged the agencies together. And then, we scaled that one. I think I was doing like closer to 10,000, 11,000 in revenue. Probably profit was like just under that, like 9,000. She was doing like a bit more, I think 30 to 40,000. But then in 2022, we scaled the agency together to 1.6 million, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but like I think it was around that. Like we spent a lot of money on ads that year, like 500,000, half a million. It was crazy. And then the next year, we cut all ads and we still made like 1.3 million. And then there was like different offers, different stuff that we did. But that's kind of like the progression on a quick story on like my journey into the agency space.
And the 1.3 and 1.6, that was all just email?
No. So when we merged, so she was doing like more so the ad side. So when we merged, we kind of just became a full stack agency, full growth agency.
Right.
I was more the operator. So I was like, I was the operator of the agency. She was more on the client acquisition
the sales
and
side marketing.
Exactly. Sales side marketing. We're using her personal brand. And then, we started off targeting like the same niches because that's kind of where we came from, like both in the e-com space. I was email, she was doing ads.
Right.
Then we added in Google. Then TikTok was starting to become quite famous. We had TikTok in there as well. And then UGC, so we had UGC as well. And then the next year, her personal brand was already taking off, but we also started to see like this Harmosi style short form personal branding coming back to life. And then we built another division in the company just on content, short form content and organic. And that one also like scaled quite rapidly as well. So, and then the ads agency, not to go too deep into it, just became like a back end offer. Usually we led with a content and then we upsold people on ads and email and everything thing as well. And then by then we focus a lot on personal brands, coaches, consultants, experts, since that's also like where I came from in the beginning, right? So we kind of like merged the two. We still had like e-com clients, but our passion was like more so helping expert consultants, personal brands, and creators make money and become more famous.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. And that's still running until today. Like you're still working on that, right?
No. So that's a great question. After 26 months, we had a plan when we stepped in and we became partners. As once again, I think for me and even for her, it was our first official business partnership that I ever took. I still love her. Like she's like one of my best friends. But as time passed by and like we were growing together and like we were growing the company, the vision started to like change as well for both of us. She started to have like different vision for herself and like how she wanted to conduct the company and like where she wanted to take the company. I had a different vision as well. And it was harder on me. I literally sat with it for 6 months last year. But like I don't know if I really want to continue this agency, blah 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 blah. And then in August, I decided to step away. So now she restructured the agency. She still has it. I just left. If they need me, I'll be there, you know. But I stepped away. We still talk till this day. I helped her with a couple of things. She helps me with a couple of things. So yeah, we still like best friends, but I'm not part of that agency anymore.
Okay, gotcha. And now you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, now I have a management firm, like to call it like a management and venture studio firm, where basically what I was doing for in the agency, but now I'm on. Basically, we manage creator, help them monetize their audience. Also, experts and course creators, info product businesses mostly. We manage their offer. We help build, create, and manage their offer, their sales team, their systems mostly to scale to like 100,000 a month, 500,000, a million. So that's the focus now.
Gotcha. All right, man. That was great story. A lot of things that I want to talk about because for me, I'm also a beginner. That's why I'm reaching out to you. I want to learn.
Yeah.
What I'm really curious about with your journey is that you said you had a lot of failures, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, how did you sense like, okay, this is the end of the line? When did you sense, okay, this email marketing thing is not going to work. I need to pivot. Like, how do you pull the plug?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one in many that have like shiny syndrome, shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
So I always try. One of the things that to me, reflecting back in December, that I believe I'll say hold me back, but also helped me was I was always trying to find the next best thing, right? So not only like email marketing, but like I was trying to understand the business in general. So I was looking at ads, for example. I was looking at like businesses outside of e-commerce, outside of lead gen, outside of personal brands. I was looking at like funnels, types of funnels, webinar, VSL, emails, like all of the jazz, conversion rate. So to me, it was like more so, okay, where is the trend going? Where can I plug myself in? Where do I have an advantage in? So let's say when I moved from Facebook ads to funnel building, to me it was like quite simple. It was like, well, sure, Facebook ads is a very good thing, which I think it still is to me, right? Because we do it, we use it right now. I do it today as well. So it helped me along the line as well. So everything kind of came together, kind of like skill stacking. But it was like more so, where do I see the opportunity right now? Or how can I, to me back then, and I think so, and I'm not afraid to say it, it's like all about how can I make the most money by helping the best clients doing quote unquote the least amount of work, right? So it's like, well, and then that's like where I kind of like effed up because funnel building was a lot of work. So, but I loved the entire process. I love building offers. I love building the strategy, like the funnel strategy, upsells, downsells, the entire thing, right? So compared to Facebook, it kind of like went against all my principles. And that's why I pivot then from, okay, I cannot scale this funnel agency without having a big team. And back then I didn't know anything about teams. So I just looked at it, okay, what in this process can I do and still provide value to people? And it was like email, right? Because email was like a huge part of like getting the lead on a lead magnet and sending them through email sequences and stuff like that. So to me, it was like quite obvious that, okay, in this process, this part is the lowest time consuming because you can set up automations forever.
Yeah.
Second, you can make a lot of money as well because it's a back end. And also it makes it very attractive once you understand performance and the business behind it, right? So it's like, yeah, I'll change to that.
Right.
You know? And what about you? What is it that you do right now? Oh, you can ask my guys as well. My bad.
So for me, I'm actually a bit, I think like I also experienced the same as the funnel building that you said. So it's quite messy with me. Well, not messy, but I do have an offer, a fixed offer. It's just that I do a lot.
What's your offer right now?
I do social media. Right? Yeah. So social media traffic. I build lead magnets. and I do the email too. So I'm basically like, it's a content funnel. You know what I mean? It's
And
like,
when you say you do
get
social
your
media, what
personal-
is it that what is it that you do specifically on social media?
I get traffic. Like I get followers and
That's
people inside
organic
the email. No, organic.
and on IG, X, where specifically?
Just X.
Just
Yeah,
X.
X specifically.
Got it. So now I think to you, this is kind of what I love to do, right? So I think for you, it's like more so, what is the goal?
Yeah.
What is the goal that you're looking for? And what are the things that you can either optimize or leverage? Meaning, what are like the 3 key points that you know must happen? So in this case, traffic must happen. So we can either go to people that already have traffic, so that's already taken care of, and then you just give them the strategy and they just implement it. So now you don't have to focus on that part, or you still have you can still do it, but then it's like, how can I then streamline the back end? Because otherwise you will have somebody that you know. And yesterday I was talking to somebody that was doing like copywriting, literally copywriting. It's like, what the fuck is that? I know what copywriting is, but like in business sense, it's like you have AI, you have like Claude.
What are you offering, right? Like what are you
offering?
selling, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was on LinkedIn, and I told her like the best thing that you can do is, instead of like telling people like, yeah, I can write you copy, and she was doing like email copy as well. I can write you email copy, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think is looking at like, who are you targeting specifically first. So if it's like people that are already making money, they probably are busy. Your offer should
have good offers, right?
Yeah, they have good offers, but also then your offer to them should be more from a convenience store and help them grow better. So they have to put like less time in, but get like much out. So I told her like, you better just say like, I'm a LinkedIn growth partner, because her profile was like very, very nice. She was growing rapidly. She was doing like, I think she was at 8,000 followers on platform. All her branding was nice. I told her it would just be better to brand yourself as a LinkedIn growth partner or
ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter. But then everybody's like ghostwriter here on Twitter as well. Like I get them like all the time in DMs, right? So I think it's like, how can you switch it to where it's maybe it still is a ghostwriting service, but you're positioning yourself different, right? But I think for you it's like, I don't know if you're a ghostwriter or like, are you just a Twitter growth specialist? What would you consider yourself into?
So the thing is, my service developed itself through I'm at that stage where it's still like whatever it takes. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've experienced this, but it's like you get a client and you basically do whatever it takes so that they get results. Like I was at that stage. That's how I started. And so that's why I have like 3. Yeah. It's like I have 3 ladders, and that's also why I'm able to charge a lot. Like a lot of people ask me like, how come you close like 10K deals? It's because I do a lot. But then it's also in a way not ideal, because it makes you do more, but it's not, it's not as direct as it should be.
Well, I'll say this, right? If it's like, I think your part is quite direct in a sense of like, yes, there are like different components to it. There are different services in it, but it's a clear outcome, right? We help you grow on, we help you make more money basically. And how we do it is by help you with the traffic, converting the traffic into leads with lead magnets, and nurture those lead magnets into sales with email. I think that's quite clear.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, which I think I love, at least what you said, is like, because you're charging a premium price already, you can afford to hire. So I think for you, isn't like specifically niching down. The next best thing is hiring. So meaning in this process, what is like the lowest leverage point they can start outsourcing? So for example, there are many, I think we're kind of like breaking up as well. So let's hide our faces again. There you go. We tried it. Yeah. So for you, it will be at least how I interpreting it is, you're really like charging like, let's say 1,000 on average, right? And you're doing like this entire system on X built out, right? Monetizing your X, Y, and Z. So now it's like what in that process is the lowest hanging fruit, like the VA top task,
check.
the $10, the $10 an hour task, the anything below like $20 an hour task that you can start delegating. So you can literally start looking at like maybe start hiring junior ghostwriting and train them on your process to write it. So now you just become the quality controller, right? So it frees up your time. Or you can find a ghostwriter as well that helps you build these lead magnets for clients, and then you just become the quality control on the second part.
Account manager, right?
It's like more so on a manager, right? So I think that's like the second
account
layer.
manager.
I'm not to say account manager, but also like just manager for your team, because that's the only way that you can scale, right? And I tell most people, and this is something that I believe is quite good to hear. I started to say this more and more, is the closer that you are to the job, the less money you make. And you can look at it from history, meaning Jeff Bezos, right? He isn't like in the warehouses anymore. He isn't close to the jobs, right? He isn't close to the tasks.
Yeah.
But he makes the most amount of money. Same thing with Apple, right? Tim Cook or Steve Jobs. He was the one putting the actual work in. They're being paid for strategy, management, quality control, and the outcome of the product itself. Right? So that's why. And one thing that I told this lady yesterday, this coaching paid for like an hour consulting with me, is to ask her, what do you want to become? Are you looking to build a freelance business, like just a job? And she said, like, I have a business. No, you have a job, right? Which is fine, but you have a job. Or are you looking to build a business? Building a business is like building systems, hiring people. And it doesn't need to be like 50 people, but it's also now you go from doing the job yourself to start delegating so you can leverage your time and focusing on the bigger picture. So I think for you, that's like where I would see the next step going.
Right. So it's like working on the business rather than in it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there will still be part of the business that you will be working in it, right? So let's say in the beginning, you probably don't have all the resources to hire an S tier team member, which is fine. But even if you, let's say, hire a B plus or another thing, depending on your budget, but say a B player, and you work and help him become an A player, you still have to do the work, right? And teach him, build your processes. That's how you grow as an entrepreneur. That's how you grow. That's how you can start seeing the leakages and the gaps in your own system. Because one thing that I've discovered in the agency, we had like a team of like, at some point, 25 people, right? I was like literally like the manager, right? But one of the flaws that I've seen myself going back was everything was in here, right? So things was literally, I was sometimes my own bottlenecks just because everything was in here. So therefore, I couldn't like empower the team members fast enough, right? So that also led me to like start to become very, very obsessed with at least documenting, creating looms, talking to people more, team members. So yeah, I think that for you, if you're ready, I don't know where you are. I don't know if you want to share this on the podcast or not, and we can talk about it after. If you're like let's say if we're doing like above 5,000 a month, let's go like that, or above 5,000 a month or 10,000, I'll say 6 figures a year, 8,000 or above, I will start looking into like delegating, hiring, at least for some low task. And it can even be like lead gen, right? Because lead gen on its own isn't much leverage, right? So you can have somebody, a VA, reach out for you, right? And you take the sales call. So now you wake up with people already like, hey, I want to talk to you. But yeah, I'll rather like focus on fulfillment if that's your bottleneck, or leads if that's your bottleneck. So depending on where you are to scale, I'll focus on that first.
Gotcha. That's awesome advice, man. But yeah, I have been looking into that. I already have like one team member.
Okay.
And he's been doing a stellar job. Like there was a learning curve, like because the system that I put, I'm quite a nitpicky type of guy. Like I like to do things in a certain way. And so my first agency, like member wasn't as good in the beginning, but now he's like catching up, which is cool.
Yeah, that's good. Hire slow, fire fast. Remove all expectations that everybody's as good as you. Most people will be in the
Right.
beginning worse than you, but that's where the leadership comes into play. That you can train them and develop yourself as a leader, because being a doer is different than being a manager and being a leader. So those are like the affirmations that I told myself in the first 2 years in the agency, right? Because it was like two different skills, right?
Yeah.
Transferring a skill is different than doing the skill, you know. So yeah, we can continue. I can really like geek out on this part forever.
Yeah, cool. All good, man. I love it because I again, as I told you, like this is me trying to learn from you, getting as much information as possible, and also helping like the audience who like look to become entrepreneurs, look to be successful as well. I'm curious then, like, what's your take on this? Because a lot of people on X, or in general, I don't know if it's all over the place, but especially on X, they love the idea of solopreneurship, where you're solo guy and you're making like 6 figures per year, something like that, and they're in love with that idea. Now, I want to see your perspective on that.
I think it's selfish. No, that's my shortest answer. I think that's selfish.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why as well.
What do you think that is? What do you mean?
Yeah, I think that's selfish. I think if you look at just history as a whole, right, and you look at what the definition of entrepreneurship is, what is the definition of a business, what is the definition of commerce, right? I think is from a business standpoint, right? It's building a life, you're risking something to get something out. You're providing value into the world, right? Which is nice. It's good. But I think for me, for people that are like just trying to stick with like, oh, I just need like 8,000 a month or 6 figures doing X, Y, and Z. I think it's either selfish, because one of the layers that I respect, at least for myself and other people, is like the ability to hire people. Like I really get messages from my team members from Philippines or like from Africa, from South America. Thank you for hiring me. Thank you for, just thank you, right? Because most people, to your point, are thinking only about themselves, right? I think that's the thing with solopreneurship, which is still fine. Like I love the business model, I love the simplicity, but to me, that's just like a freelance job, or like let's say it's a business. I was even say business, but it's a cash flow lifestyle business, which is fine. But I think most people also fall in the trap that literally 1% of people get there, right? So they look at the Justin Welch, they're looking at like the Denkos, they're looking at the whoever, I don't know, Dakotas,
Yeah.
and they say like, cool, I want to be there. But I think running one person business, at some point it will collapse, right? In my opinion. Or at some point, in order to keep growing, you have to transition into hiring people, because or AI, right? But then you still need like some people to to develop or to look at quality control. But yeah, I think my one sentence opinion is like, I just find it selfish. You'll be in this position to make money and then to empower your community. And like most people say, like, yeah, I want to empower my community. And their community is like two people, themselves and their parents. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And also, so that's the one that is making it, right? And then you have like those that are like trying to make it happen. And they're trying to stick to this part, to what I said, like becoming a business owner or becoming just a freelancer. And they burn themselves out. Just I want to do everything. I don't want a big team, or I don't want X, I don't want Y. So I want to have a solo business, launch my courses, launch my coaching, launch my mentorship, whatever that thing is, and they burn themselves out. Just because, one, in that space, you still have to keep building products every day or month or whatever, or have a good product, or you have to keep creating content to funnel people in, right? So at one point or another, you will have to do this rat race thing, right? And then fulfill on it customer service, tickets, or clients on the back end.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I'll say it's not my favorite thing. I'm not a fan of having like a huge team, just have a huge team as well. So like I said, we had like a 25 team member at some point. It was like a chaos.
It was horrible.
It was a chaos. Yeah, I was barely sleeping, panic attacks. Payroll was like 60,000. And the worst thing is like, I'd say we had like payments coming in, usually in either like the second week of the month or the fourth week, right? So, and then we moved everything to like, no, first time we had like everything at the end of the month. Right. So like you're going into like, let's say you don't sign any clients, you get into the month and we pay people bi-weekly, right? So off your account, boom, because you still have to pay them, right?
Yeah.
And then we switched to payment to like, okay, we're billing the clients also by like, some clients we're paying like in the second week of the month, some clients at the end of the week. So it kind of balances it off. So yeah, I think that's my biggest takeaway from solopreneurship. I think it's just a hype. I think it will die down at some form or another. As more people are coming into the space and looking to become like this one business man, like one man business, and all they do is sell information, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be saturated, right?
And information is just information at the end of the day as well.
It's all free. Like you can see it in the internet.
You know? So unless you have, I tell most people, unless you have like street credibility, like a big player, like the ones that I mentioned, sure, you can get away with it, but most people don't realize these guys are selling you a business opportunity, right? So they are in a different business model. So you're trying to become a coach, right?
An educator, right? You're trying to become a teacher.
You're trying to become a teacher, you're trying to become X, Y, and Z, but you don't realize that the people that you look up to that are selling you the dream are actually selling you a business opportunity. The same thing as Imangati selling you how to start an agency. The same thing is how this guy selling you drop shipping. They are selling you how to become a solo business. And that's a different game than like running a solo business. Sure, as a solo business, I can have a course selling you how to start your solo business, and sure, like I'm doing it because this is like my solo business, but I'm teaching you how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Dude, that's I've never heard that. Well, it makes sense, but I've never heard it before where you say these people don't sell, they sell opportunity, right? They don't sell info.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that when they make money off of that, like they make money selling the opportunity, everyone's just going to buy from them. No one else is going to buy from you.
Exactly. So it's not like, let's say you have like a solo business of running X, right? Now, if you start teaching people how to run a one-man business on X, you now entered the biz ops space offers, right? So literally selling opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like a consulting, it's not like courses, it's not like, sure, there are some things, but like if you really think that with a solo business, solopreneur, whatever, you can make a bunch of money, you can make Dan Coast money, you can make these Justin Welch money, you have to really rethink your life. Because all you gotta do is like, okay, I help moms do X, Y, and Z, right? Lose weight, or like just people lose weight. Okay, that's just in consulting, right? That's like a service. That's like, okay. But then you're capped because you have to keep creating content. You have to trying to find, okay, what would make these people tick? And it's a different ballgame to where I can do the same thing. Hey, this is how I'm running my one-man business 4 hours a week. So that's a business opportunity. So not to go into that, but like that's I think the main difference is where people don't realize that when they see these offers and they see these big headlines, they're buying into the opportunity that the guru or like the teacher, like whoever is giving them.
Right.
And they are feeding the machine, right? So they're feeding the hypothesis of
That
this
it's
player.
possible.
Exactly,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Which it is possible. But
Yeah, it is. It is.
it is possible. I'm not saying it isn't, but to be solely naive of thinking like he's doing this and I can also do it this, which you can, but you will not make the same amount of money as them. Unless you build up your street credibility, right? Unless you go into a different route. Unless, let's say, you make your name known. Let's say if they're doing organically, you have to go ads because that's like the only thing that you can do, right? A Tile Lopez approach. Have ads, blast it, they see your face all the time, and you sell the business opportunity, right? And then you make a switch to it. Instead of working 5 hours a week, you work 2 hours a week, you know? Then we start competing on claims again, right? So it's all a game. It's all a game.
I love that, dude. Yeah, this is why I like hopping on conversations like this, because that's the first time I've seen that, and that's such a great perspective. Now I want to ask you, like, you've been in the game for quite some time. What do you think is the future of commerce in general? Like, in terms of marketing, in terms of like business offers, what do you think we're moving towards? AI, SaaS? What do you think?
I think, let's say if it's just like business in general, I think we're moving more towards, I don't know how to say it, and sounds nice. I'll start here. Writers are fucked. I'll say that.
Shit, fucking fuck, dude.
Yeah, copywriters are done. That's one thing that I'm predicting, right? So if you're watching this or like you're listening to this, and anyone and someone is selling you on becoming a copywriter in 2025 and beyond, just run. Just run. I think more people are going to leverage AI. I think AI is something that will not go away. I think with AI as well, I think automations will be a huge opportunity as well. So to the point of the one man business, I think the lower task stuff will just become more automated. Let's go back to the no views stuff. There we go. Yeah,
There you go.
the lower tasks stuff will become more automated, more AI, so last man hour or like more ideas faster.
Yeah, creative, right?
More
Creativity.
creative. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think AI can be creative, but I think it can help you expand your creativity, right? It can give you like more inputs.
amplify you.
Exactly. I think SaaS, I see more people stepping into SaaS. The only thing with SaaS that my opinion there is if you don't have right now, if you don't have either a big distribution, so a big brand, let's say an Imangazzi, a Denko, a whoever online, if you don't have or you can partner with somebody that has organic distribution, I don't think SaaS will be it. But I think for the bigger players, we will start seeing more people step into SaaS, especially that's like the natural progression. But then, I think that's the natural progression, and I think for them it will be like an exit. So if I make my money into like online marketing, the online marketing money, the next step will be probably be a SaaS of the things that I was selling or like doing,
right?
and then exit it. So I think for the next 2 years, I think AI will be big. I think software would be there will be a lot of like softwares, I would say, but I think a lot will fail. A lot of people will try go into software, and they don't know how hard it is. Even I think some ovens took like 5 years to break even.
Yeah,
So you'll have a lot of people trying to sell your software or either software or business opportunities in software. But I think marketing in general, marketing will be marketing. Marketing is marketing is marketing.
yeah. It's never gonna change, right?
So I think it's just understanding which season you are in and like what would be the driver at this point, right? Meaning like what for online marketing stuff, I think most people are quite aware already on like what's happening out there. So it's then either a new mechanism or claims that probably will win, and then personal brand community. And I'm very bullish on community as well. I'm still very bullish on communities because I tell most people as it's kind of like the yin and yang. As something rises over here, something must rise over here. So as AI and automations and like robots
Right.
rise
Just
over
like more
here,
human stuff, right?
people will crave more human, will crave more connection, will crave more boundedness with one another. I think you don't have to be the personal brand. But I think as this one is going up, this one will also go up. I don't think it would. I think it will be like this.
Right. That's a great perspective, man. I didn't get to ask you earlier. What motivated you to start like a business in general? Because
I want to make money.
that's it, right? You just
Yeah,
wanted to get rich.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't like. People say, "No, I want to impact people." No, no. You
Yeah.
want to
It's just
make money
like,
first.
yeah, we gotta get rich, dude. No shame in that shit.
You know, I'll say this. I started working when I was like 13.
Hmm.
Literally went to my mom. Yo, I want to make my own money.
Hmm.
And I wasn't like, never driven by money. Well, a bit. But I want like to have like nice
Freedom.
stuff, cool stuff. So I started working quite early. Like I said, I left home when I was like 17. Start was working ever since. And the thing that to me led to dive into entrepreneurship was, at least in Holland, in Amsterdam, in Netherlands, the average salary is like 3,000. And there's like, after working like 4 or 5 hours in a company, right? 30, I said 2,800 to 3,000.
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't think that's one sustainable. And how can you live out of that, right? From that. So that also led me to, I don't like to work for a boss. I don't like people telling me what to do. Sure,
Yeah.
clients, even clients, I mean, whatever, But I don't, yeah, it was it. But I don't really like people like tell me what to do, in a way that's like, oh, you need to do it because I'm paying you. Clients sometimes are like that as well, but at least for clients, this is kind of like a mutual respect, right? It's like you're helping their company grow, you're making them money in a very direct way. So they'll be like less looking down on you. And if you just
Yeah, it's
work
like a partnership.
exactly, if you just work in like a factory or like retail, like they don't care. So I think that also led me to step away. And also, people that are working 9 to 5 most time don't have big goals. They don't have like big aspirations. They don't have, yeah, they just want to go. They don't want to take any responsibility, most of them. And they just want to go home, work for somebody, get whatever they need to do on their plate,
Watch TV,
watch
drink
TV.
beer.
So, and they don't want that life, to be quite honest. So that those were the things. And I tell most people, to me, it isn't specifically I need to be the boss, I need to be a CEO. Like for the partnership that I had, like I was the number two guy, right? I was like the operator. So it's still, but I think there's a very, very huge value in being either an entrepreneur or a entrepreneur. If you don't, so you can still partner up with a good entrepreneur out there,
Mm.
but be inside, kind of like Tim
Right.
Cook, right?
Yeah.
Tim Cook didn't start Apple. He was
Yeah.
a engineer or like whatever inside a company, and then he worked as if he was the entrepreneur, right? He worked the same hours. He started thinking, how can I grow this company forward? So you're like kind of like an entrepreneur in a better opportunity, so that your inputs can give you the output or the life that you want. So that's kind of what I believe in.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
The reason why I want to ask that because I want, like, you talked about the future of commerce, what you see.
yeah,
If you were back then, like you were the 17 guy, like 17-year-old guy who left home, you know,
yeah.
went to Europe. Like, what would you do now if it was like 2025?
What business would I start, or like what I would do
Yeah,
for make
or
money?
yeah, what would you do? Like, how would you get rich? Because you just wanted to get rich. Everyone wants
Yeah,
to get rich in this spot. Like people watching this.
yeah, yeah. I think rich. Let's define rich. I think the first richness, depending on where you come from, like I said,
Hmm.
I put like some milestones, right? So I think for people always like claim that the 10,000 a month mark,
Yeah,
but I think for most people don't in their country they don't even make 3,000 a month, right? So I think the
exactly.
first richness is like, let's say 5,000. It's a great milestone.
Yeah,
5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 30,000, 30,000 to
yeah,
50 or 80, and then 100,000, and then
hundred
whatever.
thousand. Yeah,
So to me, to get like the first 5,000, is I will either, depending on how much time I have, but like 17, and I don't have any skills, I will either become a setter or closer. Or I would literally spend a month. Let's say I'm still at home, right? I spent a month learn either automation or AI, and I would start a freelance that. And you don't have to charge 10,000 for helping companies create like a chatbot
Yeah.
agent, for example. I will go in that route because I think that's like great opportunity still. So I think that's the first time. Probably I would charge like $1,000, get 1,000 to two
Clients.
thousand, just get 5 clients, 10 clients, and then put them on a MRR
Retainer.
afterwards for $500 just to maintain it. So people pay you $2,000 for the setup fee, and then you pay just $500 a month. It was very low churn, so I will make on, let's say, 5,000 on a back end offer as well. So I think that's the first thing that I will do, either setter or closer. But the thing with the setting or closer is the space is also crowded, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to do, right, you have that ramp up period. One same
Yeah.
thing. This is your business opportunity versus doing the job itself. So I think that is like, if it's like, how can I make money month one? I'll go doing a type of service, either AI or automation. If not, if it's like you have like 6 months to build something to
Yeah.
10,000 or 20,000 or let's say 30,000 a month, then I think I will still pick the same thing just to start making money, because I think is trending right now. I think if anyone is starting out, the best way to make money in the beginning is just trading your time for money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the fastest. I don't think it's the best, but it's the fastest. I can really go to any store right now, a restaurant. Hey, I can shoot some cool pictures for you. Get $500. Boom.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would do. Any service based business, if you can locally, go locally, or international, doesn't matter. I think both works. So yeah. What about you? What would you do?
So I mean, dude, like I'm very new, so I can't like tell you, oh, yo, I'm a pro, I'm an
Yeah.
expert. But I do agree with what you said, because that's also how I started out. Where, well, as I said, like I basically did everything for my client. Like my first few clients, dude, I did DMs, I
That's
did
good.
like lead magnet, I did like content, basically did everything, because it was actually also my way to see, is this like the high leverage stuff? Because if I'm doing content, like I'm doing all this content and it's not turning into sales, like then I'm just gonna remove content in my offer.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why would I do content if it doesn't matter? And so I did do that. And yeah, I think one thing is the setter. I think I agree with you on that, especially if we do the route you take as well, where it's like commission based, like performance based, basically, because it pushes you to get results. Because if you don't get results, you don't get food. Like you sell.
Yeah. I think the only thing with the setter, especially coming like a new, and let's say you don't have any experience, sure you can learn the
Right.
same thing. Is I think most people, the setter job is the same thing as any ads agency, right? Meaning, if you don't have a good offer, if your
Right.
creator cannot create like good content,
Yeah.
whatever, if the creator itself is like exceptional, it's very very hard to make it work, right? And I
Right.
think that's why I think having like just an ads agency where people just give you like shitty website and like shitty offers and like shitty creative, and they think that will work, is similar to if you go to a creator that
Right.
is creating content, but like their content is like, not, yeah, it's trash, right? Not very nice. The graphics are like all over the place, looks like 2004. Sure, you can set for them, but you
Yeah.
won't make any money, right? Or they
Right.
will be
Exactly.
selling these 500 a month or like these $100 a thing. So to that point of how can you do things? If I go to the set route, I'll have to go to somebody who's making at least 50,000 a month, 30,000 a month. Then the question there is, so how can I cut through the noise, and showcase that I'm the one, right? So either like keep following up with them, so like your persistency will lead you into the door. So if you say, hey, I can set for you, start setting people without having the job can also be a thing. Go to his followers, hey, I saw you follow X, Y, and Z, and start building that report and start literally sending people to him. That can be a very unique way and unique way and creative way to get your feet into the door. Another one is just like if they tell you no, keep following up with them. Hey, and then your persistency will, oh shit, I need this guy in my team, right? Even if you're like shit or like you don't have any experience, just your persistency in sales will also give you like that layup. Now, if you cannot get there, then the best other option is like find something in the service space,
right? Okay,
that you can sell, right? Because you can control that. You can control how you reach out to people. You can control to some extent the quality. And if you really don't know about the service itself, you can outsource it as well. So, for example, if you go out and become and start selling content, for example, and you don't know how to edit, then you just say, okay, maybe then you go into like the business mindset of, okay, I'm selling 5 pieces of YouTube content, for example. I sold them on it. So that's already a good skill. And then it's like, okay, how can I make the economics work? And probably on your first account, if you don't know shit, you probably will be losing money, but you should be okay with that because it's a proof of concept. And I think most people want to go into their first business deal, whatever, and want to make $1 million.
$1 million. Right?
So it's like if you step into it and like you have to pay somebody that can do the work for you, 50%, 70% of your revenue, I'll pay it. Because if they do a good job, now you have to vet them or whatever. But if they do a good job, now that's testimonial for you from the client. You can flex with that and that will get you more clients and you can increase your price as well. And then one thing I'll say as well, in the beginning, there's only 2 things that matters. No matter the service, always master the skill of appointment setting and closing. Especially in the B2B, right? B2C is the different stuff. But I think if you can set for yourself or like if you can book appointments for yourself, if you can run something, they can always be your service. So even if you cannot deliver on the back end, even if people aren't buying the stuff that you're selling, you can really look at, okay, I might not be good at content agency, but I'm getting 10 appointments a week. So you must be doing something good. So you can literally, then it's just like, okay, let me pivot to your point on something that I'm actually seeing. And you can use your own case study. In this case, I've been booking 10, 15 appointments for myself. I think I can do the same thing. And you can just be honest with yourself as well. Either like, oh, I don't want to do the fulfillment, or I don't think I'm as good at fulfillment as I thought. So I'd rather like just book the appointments, give you the leads, and like you sell them, and it'll be like one-time payment, setup fee, and then you pay me commission of like $100 or $200 for appointment that we sent you, and you're in business.
Very interesting, man. Yeah, I think that those are points that like I've seen work because some of my clients do it. I work with marketing agencies.
Yeah.
Marketing agency owners who like, they tell me, yo, I don't fucking know how to make like a website.
Yeah.
He told me, I just sell the website and then I just hire someone to do it. Like, holy shit.
That's basically like e-commerce on 101 right there. I think most people, and that's why I thought, like, that's why how I started. Like, you want to be a freelancer or the business owner, right? Like, the business owner, the biggest thing is like selling the idea, right? That's the biggest, that's what you get for. It's selling the idea. Like, unless you can sell that idea, how do you do the work doesn't matter.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, how can I create a gap between how much I sell it to the fulfillment? Because fulfillment is like abundance.
Right.
Yeah, fulfillment is like abundance, right? Especially now that everybody's like, to your point of like
AI, dude. AI.
You have AI, but let's say even if you don't have, some people like don't know nothing, right? They don't even know how something, they don't even know how to look at something.
Yeah.
Graded whether it's like good or bad.
Yeah.
So you can hire somebody like one time or pay them for the time for like, okay, I have this. Can you just do quality control for me? Instead of like paying them on monthly, I need you to do quality control for me. So I think that, talking about like that, I think that's something that I think will be also be more going into this year. So if you're a copywriter, I'll start.
Fuck, dude.
But I think there's still a ways out. I think as a copywriter,
Yeah.
there's two ways that you can increase your value.
Yeah.
One is like start understanding, which is funny. Most people call themselves copywriter, but they cannot
Yeah.
build an offer. They cannot think of a strategy. They cannot like extract nothing from a list other than just the owner giving them like, oh, this is offer. This is this thing. Just write it. So they're like more so a writer than a copywriter, but that's a different stuff. But if you're a copywriter, an actual copywriter, I would say either have a copy chief offer where people hire you for, let's say copywriting stuff is like 200 per email and you create like 10 emails a month. So that's $2,000. I would say have like $1,000 a month, or like very like depending on the margins, whatever you have, that people just pay you monthly. And instead of like you doing the work, you just copy chief their work, because they can literally plug it into AI. It's kind of like more of a coaching and done with you approach. But because they don't have the time, or they don't know how good copy looks, but they think like, oh, I can just fire my copywriter because I can use AI, but still they don't know the principles of copywriter. You can come in then as a copy chief and at least make sure that make it better, make sure it's aligned on how good copy looks, and then they keep paying you because once again they don't have that insight as well. So now it doesn't sound like robotic, it just sounds like, oh, somebody really actually wrote it. So if you're a copywriter, I don't have a copy chief offer down there. I think that will help a lot.
Awesome, man. Now it's making me think that sales is probably like the thing that, because, and I don't know if you've had this mentality as well. Like when I started making money online, so I also grew up hard. Like I left my home like 2 years ago. I was 20 or something,
Nice.
much older than when you were. But I left home and I didn't even have a bank account. I had no bank account. I had $0. I had zero knowledge about money, and I always thought, because this is how society trains you, right? Like it's hard to make money. Like they tell you need to work hard, you need to do this, you need to go to school, blah blah blah. But now, like my mentality is like, if I want something or I need something, say I need to buy a house or I need to create a house, my mentality is no longer, okay, I need to earn this much money. I'm like, that's just 2 to 3 deals. Like I just need to close 2 to 3 deals and I have a house, right? That's when they say money doesn't grow on trees, I'm like, I can plant trees and make them grow fast. Not to brag, right? But that's the mentality that I got.
That's 100%, man. I think when you understand, to your point, when you start understanding how to abstract money from the market, then everything like changes. Because money is moving regardless, right? Whether you are extracting it or not, people are like paying for stuff. I just had to pay like for my Zoom account, right? So I was doing business, like even though it's like a few, I think $20 or something for the pro account. So if you just look at, okay, well, how can I become more valuable, to your point? How can I start selling something? How can I deliver something to the marketplace and extract or like to shift some of the money to me? Then it's golden. But people think that's risky. People think that's but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And I think they also have, like for you, for example, you did like 4 agencies in the past before you had like something that really blew up. I think people have this notion where it's like businesses have 10% success rate and I only have 10% success rate. Dude, like do it 10 times. Like do 10 businesses, right? You know what I mean? Then your chances increase.
Exactly. And there are most people as well that businesses can fail, entrepreneurs don't.
Damn, son, that's a bro.
So it's kind of like, yes, your business is kind of like a project, right? So the project can fail, but you can take the same skills, the same knowledge, the same insight that you got and build another one. If you are really, like to your point, if you really are extracting and going through the line of like, how can I provide value for an audience, right? How can I provide value for a market? If you're just like these copy paste guys, sure, you can copy paste another business, but you don't know what clicks or how to make it work. I think that's like where the difference. But usually businesses fails, but like entrepreneurs don't.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have like ended it with a better note. Now, like, is there anything that you're gonna launch? Anything that you want to announce? Anything you're launching, man?
Right now, no. I tell most people I don't have anything. I don't have a coaching program. I do have like consulting, but you can just slide in my DM and see if it's a good fit. But yeah, right now we focus mostly on our creator partners in the management firm where we build, launch, and scale their digital products or info products to 100,000 a month. My last launch we did like 500,000 in 30 days for a creator. So that was nice. But yeah, I'll say just reach out. Let's have some fun on Twitter. And if I have something to sell you guys one day, I'll come back and announce it. For now,
We'll hop on another podcast, dude. We'll do that.
Awesome.
So yeah, where can people find you? Any like your website, man, or your like tag?
Yeah, I think on most platforms, just Shanon Faneyte, my name. On X, I started like last month on X. It's literally I really enjoy it now, so that's the best place to find me. And then or Instagram as well.
Gotcha, man. Yeah. It was a pleasure having you. Learned a lot. This is a great like masterclass, and I'll see you again, man.
Take care and see ya.
Cheers, dude.